It's so much fun to try to make our own cookie cutters because so many times there are things that we see or we desire, but we can't find the cookie cutter anywhere. So I've taken some images from, well, they're Hawaiian images. We were talking about maybe making an ipu heke cookie cutter, and then I've got this other one that is from the cookie bag that Cheryl Koshiro used when she gave us her cookies at Christmas time. And I thought that was really cute, and I wanted to show you how to do that. But before we get started on that, I wanted to point out that we all started with, I gave you all a strip of aluminum flashing that's 10 feet long and 1 inch wide. So it looks like this, and it's kind of unmanageable when it's in a big coil like this. You'll find that when you let it go, it just wants to do its own thing. It wants to stretch out and be straight again. So you can work with it long if you want to, or you can cut it into smaller lengths. And if you cut it into strips of about 18 inches, then you'll get about 6 strips, or you can cut it a little bit shorter, like 17 inches or so, and you might still have a usable strip left of about 16 inches long. So all you need is a pair of utility scissors, craft scissors, to cut your metal strip. And believe it or not, it's strong enough to get right through there. So I've done that previously, and now we have this strip that is about 18 inches long. Much more manageable. So the first thing that you need to do is print out the image that you want to turn into a cookie cutter. And you take a piece of string. Let me take my gloves off of this. Take a piece of string and you run it along the circumference of that image. And the reason we're doing this is to find out how much or how long of a metal strip you're going to need. So we go all the way around, all the way around. Like that. And of course you need extra in places that have zigzags in it or something. So let's say this is how long of a strip you need, and luckily the strip that we cut ahead of time is long enough, and there are about 3 inches left over, which is good because when you're done crimping your metal, you're going to have a little bit of allowance folding over itself for the strength, for the seam. And now, don't always use gloves, but if you have gloves, it'll be safer while you're working on it. They don't usually cut you if you're careful with bare hands, but it's a good idea to use gloves. So you want to find the straightest edge for the seam. And in the case of an ipu heke, there aren't really a lot of straight edges, but I'm seeing that the gentlest curve is right here. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to mark where my metal strip is starting. And then what you want to do is just bend it along following your image and work slowly and gently so you don't have any crimps in the metal itself. Sometimes on curves, it's good to use something that you have in your kitchen that's already curved. Like, it could even be the scissors, and just curve it along there, because then you won't have a crimp in the curves that you're making. And keep, every once in a while, you match it up to your paper, your drawing, to make sure that your curve is following that line. Okay, I'm trying to find something else that's round. There's a little measuring cup. We can use this as well. Okay, so when we come around to this edge, this is the first place where we have an angle. We have a sharp angle in the leaves. We're going to simplify this a little bit by not including the leaf decoration in this one. We're just going to make a simple figure 8 ipu heke. And what we'll do here when you get to this angle is you'll want to take your pencil. You can see that's where it's going to want to turn. Let me line this up again. And take your pencil, make a line. You can take your pliers, and you can use needle nose pliers or something with a flat end like this. I like this for this purpose because it doesn't crimp, it doesn't mar the metal where you don't want it bent. So what happens is you line it up with your pencil mark, and you need to make a very quick, sharp movement on these angles. I don't know if you can see this well. So what you do is just go quickly, just like that. If you go too slowly, then it's not going to bend in a sharp corner like this. you're going to end up with a rounded corner, and that's not what you want this time. Come to another corner, mark it with a pencil, take our pliers, crimp it. You can see that we've come back to our starting line, but we need to overlap it about 7/8 of an inch or so, and you can mark it there. And also make a mark here. This is where the beginning point of your cutter will match up, and this is where you're going to, this will be where you'll cut the metal. So just with a plain pair of scissors you can make that cut. This is how much we had left over from about 18 inches, but it's better to have leeway. You want to have more than not enough. And it's easier to work with than that entire 10-foot coil. So you'll overlap it this way and you'll tape it, which I forgot to bring with me today. But you'll tape it and then you can readjust the cookie cutter so it fits right along the edge. You can see that it matches up with the shape of the ipu heke. And you can just start making cookies. For decoration, you can compare it to the photo that you have and try to match the icing colors that you have, and it should turn out really nicely. So that is the ipu heke. So this is the basic cookie cutter. It only has 2 crimps in there, but perhaps at another time I can show you how to make something more complicated with more angles. For example, something like this. This is the image from Cheryl's bag, her gift bag that she gave us the cookies in. I was thinking it would be fun maybe to have a cookie that looks something like this Hula Girl. So I think that's going to be my next attempt to make a cookie cutter like this one.